That's very kind of you all. Thank you very much. I'm going to do my best to project so that you can all hear me, because I want to make sure I get picked up by all these microphones as best as I can. First of all, I just want to thank you all very much for coming out. It is an exciting thing that we're doing today, talking about diversion here in Fairfax County and Fairfax City. We're going to be talking about a couple of things. You can see behind me we have the posters for the program that we're going to be celebrating our year anniversary of, Taking Root. This program that is the largest diversion program in a prosecutor's office in the Commonwealth of Virginia that my office is running with OAR that we're incredibly excited about. And we're also going to be talking about Pathfinder Kitchen, which is a new initiative that is happening here in Fairfax City that is helping take people who may have touched the justice system and getting them into careers in the culinary world. I will tell you that, you know, if anybody's ever heard me talk, you have heard me talk about, how Fairfax is the safest jurisdiction of its size anywhere in the United States. It is something that everybody here is really, really proud of. And we know that safety has a lot of different pieces to it. There's a lot of great work that happens from our police force. There's a lot of great work that happens in our courthouse. But the piece that we can't forget, the piece that is very, very important, is what diversion means to public safety. Because diversion, you know, from a very clinical look at it, it helps reduce recidivism. If you find people who have touched the system, made a mistake, and you actually get them the supports that they need so that they're not committing more crimes, it creates more public safety. But it also does more than that. It helps build communities and it helps change people's lives. If you are a young person who may have made a mistake and touched the justice system, you have the possibility that you may be in and out of that system for the rest of your life, or if you get into one of these diversion programs, it may turn your life around and you may be able to build the life that you want for yourself and your family, which means the community gets better. And that's what our goal here in Taking Root has been. We have worked incredibly hard to get this program up and running. And so far in this first year, we have been successful. We have about 100 people in the program, and we've already had 20 graduates. And as I'm standing here today, you're going to hear from a lot of people who had a hand in this. But I want to take a second and really thank a couple of them before they come up on stage. You know, the first one is Senator Tim Kaine, who we're so glad to have here. You know, Senator Kaine got the seed money in an appropriation to build this program. And that's incredibly important because ideas like this are out there, but it's so important if you don't have the support to get them off the ground and running and helping people. And we in Virginia are very, very, very lucky to have a U.S. Senator who really cares about people, who has a career that is focused on social justice, who understands about giving people chances, and who will go and fight to get what's necessary to make that happen. So Senator Kaine, we could not have done this without you. I'm very, very grateful. The second group of people I want to thank are the judges in Fairfax County. They had seen what we were trying to build here, and they have been on board taking people into this program. And without them, we could not have done it. I also want to give a couple of specific shout-outs to people in my office who work on this day in and day out, who are always looking for people to get people in this program. People like Nilo Raza, Mayo Wilson, and Karen Burke, who are from my office. They're here in the crowd right now. As well as the OAR staff and caseworkers who are actually the people on the ground who are doing the yeoman's work, helping individuals who are in the program. And of course, I have to my left here our police chief, Kevin Davis, who we couldn't do this without the help of our police agencies. And also in the crowd, we have Fairfax City Police Chief Aaron Scheibel. Without having partners in this program, it wouldn't work. I just want to, as we're talking, I want to take a moment to just recognize the hard work of the people who have graduated from our Taking Root program. You know, our Taking Root program, it is a time-consuming program. It's months of work. And for a lot of individuals, doing that work may be scary. I know we're going to hear from Lula Kelly in a little bit, who may be telling us, giving us some anecdotes from some of the people who have graduated from the program. But it really takes a lot of bravery for those individuals to come forward, engage in this program, work on themselves, and do what it takes to graduate and better their lives. we're also, in addition to that Taking Root program, we're also here to celebrate kind of the beginning of a new program that's going to be a big part of Taking Root, and that's Pathfinder Kitchen. Pathfinder Kitchen is I'll tell you what, this is a really, really cool program. It's really going to be one of the first of its kind. It allows people who have touched the justice system to actually get high-end culinary training, high-end restaurant training from restaurants, including this one, Mackenzie's, where we're standing at right now, getting certificates so they can build a career in the culinary world. So not just talking to people and trying to get them out of recidivism, out of the justice system, but actually putting them on a path where if they choose, they can build a career, a really great career that can provide for them and their family, and of course take them out of the justice system. And what happens in that program is if an individual is put in that program, they're going to be working at a couple of restaurants, including Mackenzie's, here in Fairfax City, and getting that training and getting that opportunity. And again, there's a long list of people to thank for putting Pathfinder Kitchen together. Because this is a unique collaboration. I want to thank, of course, OAR. I want to thank Bright Paths, who is a big part of this. And I know that we have Lisa Wetzel from Bright Paths, who is here in the crowd with us as well. And of course, we have the individuals from the city council who gave the grant to start this Pathfinder Kitchen. And I want to recognize Mayor Catherine Reed, who I know is in the crowd, and I believe that Councilman John Staley is here as well. And I also want to thank the owner of Mackenzie's, Josh Alexander, and Chef Barnes, who is in the back there, who is going to be doing incredible training. And I'll also note what's great about Chef Barnes is not only is he a chef, but he is somebody who has experience in law enforcement. Somebody who has worked in law enforcement before getting into the culinary world. It's just a great proof point that more and more people from the law enforcement world see the value of diversion. And beyond the value of diversion, I really want to just take a moment before I introduce some other people and give them an opportunity to speak, to talk about what it means for a community to accept people like this into these programs, particularly Pathfinder Kitchen. I talk to business owners and people all around the Commonwealth, and they talk to me about how they need to find individuals to fill jobs that are open. And they have vacancies, but they don't necessarily have people to fill them. And too often, they look right past individuals who have been justice connected. They may not see them as individuals who have things to give their community. They may not see them as human beings who have talent, who have a future if they're just nurtured. But the list of people that I just mentioned, the people who put Pathfinder Kitchen together, they see those individuals for who they are, and they've welcomed them into their fold, and quite frankly are working together with those individuals to build a stronger Fairfax City. So I'm really, really grateful for everybody who put that program together, for seeing the individuals that we touch every day, for seeing them as the special human beings that they are and can be. So with that being said, you can hear it from me. We're the safest community in the entire country. I say it every time. And we can talk about it from a top-level numbers perspective. But I think it's really, really important to hear about the work that's actually being done and to hear about some of the stories of the people who have been touched by these programs. And with that, I want to welcome up to the stage Lula Kelly, who is OAR's Diversion Program Coordinator, who is going to tell you a little bit about it. Lula, please come to the stage.
Hi, Lord, that was a high step. Good afternoon. My name is Lula Kelly. I am the program manager for OAR's Diversion program. I want to thank all of you guys for coming out today to discuss this very important program. Diversion is new, it's exciting, but it's well needed. The thing we need to understand about living in this society is that one mistake does not define a person. And what we've seen so much in the justice system is that pretty much what Steve said, you get involved in the justice system and people can't figure out how to let you outlive that. And that's one of the things Diversion do. It says, hey, I made a mistake, but I want a better chance at life. And what we do is we work in conjunction with people to see how can we make that happen. Every service plan that is done with each and every individual is individualized. There is no cookie cutter set to this. You have to work with where people are, who they are, and what the circumstances that they hold. And I think that when we realize that, my mother used to say, so much is given, much is expected. We, as the people who are in positions to do things like Senator Kaine, to earmark money that says, hey, we believe in our community. We believe that people deserve a second chance. These are things that make this community and this organization great, because now we're seeing where people saw no help, no hope, to seeing that, wait a minute, maybe I can do something. Maybe I can get a career and not just a job. Because at OAR, what we try to tell people is that I can feed you, or I can teach you to fish and feed yourself. So we have programs like training programs so that they can go in and get careers, like Bright Path, where you get a certification that you can take anywhere in the country, and you can utilize that to make more money, provide for your family, understand that, you know, I don't have to choose this path, that there's a better path for me to work on. And I would be remiss not to thank people that have really paved the way. Our ED, Derwin Overton, has a passion and a heart. And I'll say that when I came to this organization, one of the things he asked me was, how many chances does a person get? And, you know, when someone asks you that off the cuff, you think, 2, 3? He said, there's never enough chances. Because today, you might ask to change your life, and it might not work out tomorrow. But if you keep hoeing that row, then eventually you're going to start springing up roots that are going to take you to a path of freedom. And that's not always in 1 or 2 chances. And I want to thank my entire organization. I want to thank the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. You guys have done beautiful. We work so beautifully together. I want to thank you, Senator Kaine, because without that support, we couldn't have made this program continue to move in the path that it's moving in. The program is starting to expand even more, and that's because of good people and people that care about the community. We have clients that range, people that have make $150,000 a year, to people that have zero income. We have a client that came in, he hadn't worked, he didn't have immigration, his immigration status was a little messed up. He had it, but he just needed some help. These are things that take time. So these are not, like I said, cookie cutter situations where you can go in, fix a situation, and you're done. It takes months. This young man has been with us for 9 months. He's completed the program. He's gotten his immigration status corrected. He has gotten a job. He has an apartment. He's living a life. He's no longer on drugs. He's no longer stealing, because these are things that build. If you work at things one step at a time, it will come. But you have to instill that hope and that freedom in people that is there. So again, I don't want to waste up all your time, but I just want you to know how important this program is. And I just want to say thank you so much to, like I said, OAR, to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, to you, Senator Kaine, to the police department, to everyone that is providing and giving, because believe it or not, it is making a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Lula. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage somebody who I'm grateful and pleased to be able to call a friend, but also my great partner in community safety here in Fairfax County. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis, please come on up here.
Thank you, Mr. Descano. Senator, thank you for your commitment. You know, I've been a police chief for over 10 years now, and this is probably the most unique news conference setting. So I'm going to remember this. And it's unique for a reason. And Josh, I don't know where you are, but you stepped up and did something. You put your money where your mouth is. And at this time of year where we're hopefully all sticking to our New Year's resolutions, is it the 8th? So hopefully we are. One thing that we tend to say constantly, and maybe we resolve to say it every year, is that people deserve second chances. And a lot of people leave it at that. their actions don't reflect their words. And the work that Taking Root has done are actions that reflect the words that we say so easily and casually. But asking ourselves, what are we doing to make that a reality? I think the most interesting person in this room today is Chef Duriel Barnes, in his unique journey as a Metropolitan Police Department police officer to now someone who is training people who have touched our criminal justice system, and they're getting a skill that will absolutely last a lifetime, and it's really impressive. So this is a great way to start 2024, to continue what we've done in 2023. The police department is committed to this program. Low-level nonviolent offenders, there are more of them than there are violent offenders, and there always has been and there always will be. So when we talk about the fact, and it's not a matter of opinion, it's a fact that Fairfax County is the largest, safest jurisdiction of its kind in the nation, we're talking about where we are with violent crime. We do a great job with prevention. We do a great job identifying perpetrators. But the vast majority of folks who come into contact with our criminal justice system are low-level and nonviolent, and they are going to return to our communities. So preparing them to have a meaningful return is something that I think we're all committed to. My first 10 years as a police officer, throughout the entire decade of the 1990s, I ran in, and just on the other side of the Potomac River, I ran into the same young people again and again and again. And, we should put the phrase repeat offender out of business. And it's programs like Taking Root that will help us eventually put that phrase to bed where it should be. So we're happy to be a part of this, and I can't thank you all enough for having us. And I appreciate my friend Chief Aaron Scheibel, Police Chief of the City of Fairfax, to let me venture into the city today. So thank you, Chief.
And now I will ask our last guest to come up to the stage, somebody who has, again, made a career as a fighter for social justice, somebody that everybody in Virginia should be happy and grateful for his work, and quite frankly, somebody that without we wouldn't be standing here today, Senator Tim Kaine. Please come on up.
Well, happy anniversary to Taking Root. I'm so excited to be here with Steve, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, local law enforcement, OAR, graduates, friends of the program, to be here at Mackenzie's. And I'll just be quick. I'm going to say a word about why I'm such a supporter of innovative diversion programs like Taking Root, and then just talk a little bit about the financial support that we were able to get, because it's not easy, and the only reason you get it is if the program idea is innovative and strong, and that was what we presented to our colleagues in the 2022 budget. First, on the diversion side, if you just think about in your own life, how have you learned the most? What have been the moments in your life when you've learned the most? For many of us, it's connected with mistakes we make. When things are going well, we don't always step back and think, now, how come that went so well, and should I do it again? But when things go badly and we make mistakes, that's the learning moment in life. I know it's been the case in my life, and I suspect you can look at your own life and find moments along the way where you made a mistake, but then you learned and grew as a result. Well, some people's mistakes are mistakes that wrap them up in the criminal justice system, and many of us make mistakes that don't. And those of us who make mistakes that aren't connected with the criminal justice system, we have the ability to reflect and learn and grow and improve. And those who make mistakes connected to the criminal justice system, they can do the same thing. They can learn, reflect, grow, and improve, but often they do it with sort of an extra set of ankle weights that can be really, really heavy, and that can stop them from achieving and learning and growing in the way that we all should have the opportunity to do. And that's why diversionary programs are so good. They take advantage of that moment in your life when you've made a mistake, but they say, a mistake doesn't make you a mistake. A failure doesn't make you a failure, and you have an opportunity to move and go forward. There are a lot of diversionary programs around Virginia, but this is a really creative and unusual one. Many of you who are connected with the court system are aware of the specialty dockets, drug courts, mental health courts, veterans courts. We do specialty dockets, and very successfully in Fairfax and elsewhere. But there's an awful lot of people who are connected with the criminal justice system who may have charges against them that don't fit neatly into those categories. And so what Steve and his colleagues at the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office here did, together with OAR and others, is said, look, let's take the diversionary concept and make it broader and make it more accessible to more people who just want that same opportunity to learn and grow and improve. Now on to the funding. Steve and his colleagues, as they were thinking about starting this, came to my office. There used to be this thing in the bad old days in Congress called earmarks, where Congress would put earmarks into budgets. And earmarks fell into disfavor, and they were ruled out of federal budgets about 5 years before I came to the Senate. And the reason that they were ruled out was because it tended to be members of the Appropriations Committee would just put earmarks into the budget at the 11th hour. Nobody would know except them that they were in. The projects might have been good or might not have been so good. There wasn't much transparency to them. What we realized, though, is we could fix the process. And so we're now in year 3 of returning to what we call congressionally directed spending. Congress is the body under the Constitution that has budgetary power. So Congress being able to direct funding to particular programs would be a wise thing as long as we do it right. And so we changed the way earmarks were done. Every year, usually in January, February, March, I've got a great staffer here, Lindsay, on my team who works on this. Community organizations, local governments, educational institutions apply to my office seeking our recommendation to the Appropriations Committee that we do earmarks. And it goes through a really tough process where we have to look at everything to make sure that it's a good organization, a good idea, and the funds are going to be applied to a really important purpose. In March, I make requests to the Appropriations Committee around these congressionally directed expenditures. And here's the rule. To fix some of the bad old days, what I have to do is I have to put up on my website every request that I've made. So that means every local official, every journalist, every citizen who wants to see, hey, what's Kaine asking for? Is it a good organization? Is he just asking for stuff in his hometown of Richmond, or is he really being a statewide representative? So that transparency kind of ups the quality. But even though I only ask for high-quality projects, I don't get everything I ask for. Neither Mark Warner nor I are on appropriations in the Senate. So we have to go and really make the case that this is a worthy goal. In the 2022 budget, we requested an earmark of $700,000 to help get this program started. And I'm proud to say that under the leadership of the tough, bean counting appropriators that year, they took a look at what Kaine asked for and they said, now this is a good idea. Because they bought in, Democratic and Republican, they bought into the notion that this second chance idea, that learn from your mistakes idea that is a common part of all of our lives, was worthy of supporting. And particular, the way Steve and his team have put this program together and made it broader than the traditional, drug courts or other courts that we've had was innovative and creative. And so they said, this is worth an investment. And so it makes me really happy to come at the end of the first year to know that there have been 20 graduates, to know that there have been another 100 people who are in the program at some point along the way now, to know that the Pathfinder program, and I had a chance to visit with the chef and the McKenzie's owner right when I walked in, that's now starting up. And I like the way you gave me a thank you for seed money. And, we're going to continue the gardening or tree metaphor. The seed money at the start has helped the roots to grow, has helped the tree to grow, and now you're expanding and being more creative. I'm really, really excited to be here with you and wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations.